Hey, this is your girl, Trail Ravenel, life and marriage strategist. Welcome to Couples Conversation. Welcome to Marriage Motivational Moment. I help wives and couples to build a strong emotional, mental, and spiritual marriage through soul healing. The ultimate goal is for Christ to be the center of your marriage. I know we say that in passing. I know we say that in cliche, but I show couples exactly what does this look like in realistic form in their marriage relationship. So today we're talking about addiction, and in particular, anyone that is struggling with an alcohol addiction. Anyone that's struggling with an alcohol addiction, give me a second. Let me turn this notification off. So the reason why this is important is because addiction of any kind can negatively impact the marriage relationship. There's so many things, there's so many effects, there's so many reasons as to why addiction is even present in the life of you or your spouse. And I want to talk a little bit about what you can do if you are married to someone that is struggling with an addiction, and then really offer you some support and assistance of getting the help that you need. Many people turn to substance abuse, those in particular that are not able to cope with the issues of life, those that have challenging problems and things that they're confronted with, be it with themselves or their family members, and they just don't know how to cope, and they turn to alcohol, they can turn to drugs, they can turn to pornography, sex, other things, just to try to help with the pain. They're trying to help quiet the voices, if you would, trying to numb the pain, if you would. And many of us know that that doesn't necessarily numb the pain, but that's just their way of coping because they're unable to cope with it otherwise. They don't have other coping strategies, or if they do, they're not utilizing those coping strategies and implementing those coping strategies. So they're using negative and adverse coping mechanisms to help so that they can sustain in life, and it's just not a healthy way. First thing is, you want to make sure that you and your children are safe. There's no telling what can happen in a relationship when you have someone that is addicted to alcohol and has an alcohol problem. A conversation can go left very quickly. Things can be said that are later regretted. Things can be done that are later regretted. So you want to make sure the first thing is that you and your children are safe if you are in that situation. The second thing is, you do not want to monitor or track their drinking behavior or drinking patterns. That means you don't have a checklist, even a mental checklist of a note on you being aware, or taking a note of when they're drinking, how much they're drinking, when they're going to the store to get alcohol, when they're at the bar, or whatever. That's not your responsibility. I know that you want your spouse to get help. I know that you may feel sorry for them, and you care for them deeply, and you don't want to see them in this predicament. However, it's not your responsibility to track, and that just can cause a whole lot of other issues, and can decline the connection within the relationship even the more. Number 3 is, have some sort of realistic plan, and be realistic about your expectations for your spouse. You've been married to them for how many ever long years, or time, decades even at this point. And if you've been dealing with this for quite some time, you already know what to expect. So setting yourself up for unrealistic expectations and setting yourself up to be later, to later feel like, whatever you desire for them to do, they're not. I can't think of the word right now. For failure. So I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Later, and setting yourself up for failure later on will continue to make you feel that something is wrong with you. It will make you feel that, part of it is your fault. It makes you feel like the victim. It can also place you in a place where you're sad and feeling depressed and things of that nature. So just have realistic expectations. You know what they're capable of. You know what they've done in the past. You know what they're doing now. Even if they're making certain promises, and they've made promises in the past, and you know how that has not gone well, have realistic expectations for yourself. The last thing is, do not hide the impact of the addiction. And what I mean by that is whatever the impact is on your family, whatever the impact is on your marriage, you want to confront in love and kindness, and do not cover the impact of their actions. There are consequences to behavior, there are consequences to actions. And if there is an impact that is happening and is causing, the marriage relationship to plummet and causing more hurt and pain among the family unit, those things need to be addressed with loving kindness, okay? This is one thing you should know. Addictions run deep. Alcoholism run deep, and it's a disease. It's an illness like any other disease, any other illness. And it's not so easy for everyone to just stop it, for someone to just get delivered from it, if you would. There are steps, there are processes for them to be healed from this sickness, for them to walk in a whole place. And if you're willing to walk with them on the journey, that is great, because they're going to need your support. However, understand that can be a part of their family system. And if you were to look back in their family system, look back at, grandmom and parents and great-grandma parent and great-grandparents, and see how they coped with problems and issues, and see if alcoholism or other addictions are present. It will have you give you a better understanding of what you're dealing with, and how to deal with it and work through it. I would encourage you to encourage your spouse to get the help that they need, other than outside of prayer and outside of going to church and outside of implementing biblical principles. I would encourage they get professional help and talk to someone that specializes in treating those with addictions and alcoholism, that can help them cope through these areas. We all are aware of the 12-step program, Alcoholic Anonymous, which I heard is a very great program and very successful program. So, try to get them the help that they need. Don't push it or force it on them, but try to, encourage them to get that help that they need, so that the family unit can be whole. They may not understand or even realize that this is a disease, this is an illness, and many of them may be in denial. Many of them may be functioning alcoholics and don't put two and two together that there is something wrong. So, that's where you come into some degree, and that's where you pray and you ask God to, give you the wisdom to approach your spouse and the words to say, and send the help that you need. And, I'm praying with and for you all, and I'm praying for the best. And what I would say to you as it relates to soul healing, my sister Jill and I have opened the doors of our academy to help you in that aspect, your soul healing, mental and emotional healing. And you may be the right and the specific candidate that needs to be a part of that journey for your personal soul healing. So if so, be sure to click the link below, and I'll talk with you soon. Peace.